Here you go, the Fed, quantitative easing, pumping in billions of dollars every month, and so far trillions of dollars into our economy. It hasn't done what fearmongers in economists have thought it would do. It hasn't created runaway inflation. It hasn't devalued our dollar compared to the peso. Dollar remains fairly strong, and our economy is starting to grow. We're starting to see progress across the board. And, well, what else could it mean that would be bad? This is new rules, right? So we're into territory we haven't never been in before. The Fed has never done this before, pumped in trillions of dollars into the economy.
Nope.
And it has stimulated. And the stock market's at an all-time high. And despite companies not wanting to be in the attitude to hire, they are hiring because the economy is getting better. What does this all mean, folks? This is new territory. Doesn't compute with most people. There's got to be a danger here. Well, how about the debt? If they're giving us all this money, right? Aren't we going into debt?
You would think.
Yeah. That we must be going into debt. If they're giving us this money, it's basically free money into the banks. That's how they're doing it, pumping it into the economy. Then we must be going to debt by trillions of dollars to the Federal Reserve. If you read the bill, it says debt note, right? Federal Reserve debt
Federal
note.
Reserve note.
Yeah. And if they're giving this money and Congress didn't ask for it, the president didn't ask for it, they decided they're going to do this program of quantitative easing and throwing money into the economy. Now they said they're not going to stop until unemployment is down to 6.5. They're going to continue doing this because the economy needs it. Other countries cannot do this, right? They don't have a system like us and the Federal Reserve.
No, they're too busy doing, what was it, like in Greece and in Spain.
Austerity.
Austerity.
Cutbacks. We're not doing austerity. We're pumping money. they're printing money. It's paper and ink. Doesn't cost them a lot of money. And they're pumping it into the banks and into our system. And it's rejuvenating the economy. And say it's artificially so, but this is new rules. Other countries aren't doing this. Maybe they're not even capable of doing it. But the United States of America is capable of doing it. Though it's not the United States of America doing it. It's not Congress. They didn't vote to do this. The president didn't vote to do this or decide to do this. It was the Fed.
Reserve.
Now, true. As you look at the numbers, whoa, we're going into debt. Are we going into debt? Has the Federal Reserve asked to be paid? If we didn't ask for it, is it really a debt to us?
That's a good question, Jeff.
We didn't ask for it.
So no, we did not.
Is it something we asked for, a loan, or is it a gift? And if it's a gift, then they don't expect to get paid back for it, do they?
No.
Because they're deciding we want to do this for the country. Yeah. The country needs it, we want to do it.
So if that's the case, then it should be money that should not count against our debt.
Yes.
Be added into the coffers of the debt that we owe.
So
it should be like, here, it's a gift. Merry Christmas.
Right. If we never have to pay it back, it's not a detriment to this country.
No, it is not.
And it shouldn't be accounted against us. And it will not be a stumbling block to our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, as politicians like to say. I haven't heard any talk about paying this back or them wanting us to pay it back. Then what does it mean? They're just nice and they're good and they're helping us out and all that is true. But what does it mean? It means they own the country.
Mm-hmm.
We are no longer the United States of America. We are the United States of the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yep.
And folks, just as we talked about, hey, it's just a fact that we have given up our privacy for so-called security, and that's never going to go back. Nope. There's always going to be government intrusion into our privacy.
Uh-huh.
This isn't going back. The Federal Reserve has owned this country for many years now.
The country is more like a corporation now, honestly.
It is.
They are the CEOs, and they have been the CEOs since 1913.
Well, doesn't the president appoint the head of the Federal Reserve? Does he? Or does he announce who the president of the Federal Reserve is going to be?
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder. Well, it's a government position. No, it's not. They are not run by the government. They are run by a collection, a group of who, Jeff?
International banks.
No bankers.
Huge international banks. These are the people who own the money of the world. Most of them in Europe, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they've decided that it is important at this time to keep their favorite right now. We are favored. You got to feel favored. When international banks are pumping trillions of dollars into your economy to keep it afloat, you got to feel favored. And we are highly favored at this time. And they've decided that their country, the United States of the Federal Reserve Bank, deserves this, while other countries do not. And right now we are benefiting of it. And so is Obama. And why would they want to do this for us? What are we? For country that has ever been. What have we been doing with our power? Well, we've been using it around the world, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Or they've been using it. The many wars. We are the hammer of these internationals to hammer other countries with our powerful military to their plan, whatever that plan may be, whatever the end of that plan may be. So do you understand it now, folks? It does come full circle. We aren't going to suffer, I believe, a crushing blow of debt because they're never going to ask us to pay it back. But what it does mean, they have the keys now to this country. It's their country. They dictate. Of course, our whole government's beholden to them for what they've done. That we're not in the situation of Europe or Japan or most other countries around the world. Because they came to the rescue. They printed that money. They create the reality of the value of it. And they have changed things around. As long as we're faithful soldiers to do their bidding militarily wise around the world,
they'll give us anything.
I think that it'll be status quo. It'll be status quo for us.